Hooray. Success. I am so excited. You guys, if you're watching, um, thank you for watching. I am so sorry. I have been trying since before 8 o'clock this morning to get onto YouTube to stream this. So I apologize. Hopefully it's not the connection. I have full bars, but don't know what's going on. But hey, tech, woohoo! But I am here. Better late than never, the way I look at it. All right. So, you know what? I think I've shared with you a couple of the different mugs I use. And so here's another one. Okay. And it is all pretty flowery. It was a special gift from someone who's been my angel since I was born. Um, and I think I might have mentioned her name is Vivienne. And she is my aunt, my best friend. My mom rolled into one, and she passed away just recently at a very young age from cancer. And it was rough, but she gave me such incredible confidence in myself. And since that's what we're talking about this morning, she kept coming to mind as I prayed about and thought about what I wanted to share with you guys this morning, because I want to talk about confidence. It builds off of what I was talking to you guys about last week with, when you're doubting yourself, and giving you some strategies and some actual things to do, right? Action steps in order to get out of that self-doubt. And this goes right hand in hand with that, right? Confidence. So kind of two parts today. I want to talk a little bit about what you can do, and kind of a belief system and the foundation, I guess is the best way to put it, for building that confidence and in yourself. Because, right, remember, everything we do, our kids are watching, and people are watching what we do, not what we say. So it's so important that we constantly look in the mirror, right? And that we're constantly really thinking and praying about our own actions and our own reactions, right? So the first thing I talked to you guys about last week holds true again. I am a Christian, and my faith is my number one foundation. The belief and faith that I have in the Lord is foundational to everything. And whatever your spirituality or your faith, I just want to encourage you to really ground yourself there first, right? And in the Bible, it says in Matthew 18:4, he says, "Whoever becomes humble like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." And I think there's a lot that's wrapped up in that statement, because children have true humility, right? They are completely confident when they try things, like just naturally, they have faith that everything's going to work out, everything's going to be okay. And sometimes to a fault, right? If you have adventurous ones in your house, like I did and do, but they have complete confidence and complete trust in their abilities. And it's not egotistical. It is, well, let's see, I can try this, right? And now some kids come by that naturally more than others, but I really believe a lot of reticence is picked up from us and from parents and from what they've observed since birth. But obviously we're all different, right? And there are plenty of times when your kids and you are going to need to borrow belief, right? You're going to need to borrow belief from others that love you, that know you, that believe in you more than you believe in yourself, and believe in you before you believe in yourself. Now, you all know who that is in your life. And that's kind of what I was sharing, because Vivienne, I keep saying present tense, is, because she still is. I feel her every single day, and what she instilled with her, the strength of her faith, and who she was, and always about serving other people. And borrow belief. I constantly borrowed belief from her, and likewise she did from me. We were that for each other. And we're human, right? We're going to falter. Our kids are going to be sometimes apprehensive about things. Help to be that person who they can borrow belief from. Okay, so that's the first thing that I wanted to share this morning. The second thing is we all can say and in our heads go, okay, I know I need other people and I know I'm going to make mistakes. But do you truly, truly believe in your heart that it's okay to make mistakes, right? It's okay. It's okay. Do you hear how many times I'm saying this? And maybe you can figure out why. I joke about this with my teens, with my own children. Yeah, most of the time when I'm talking and God puts something on my heart, it's because I need to hear it as much as you do. So here's the thing about accepting that you can't do things alone. And again, here's where your faith comes in. And understanding and accepting that you will make mistakes. And here's the key, and that it's okay. Now, here's what you do. You need to focus on action and solutions. That's it. Focus on action and solutions. Imperfect action beats inaction and, self-doubt every single day. Every single day. I've just shared this recently with multiple people, and who knows, I may have already shared it with you too. You guys will get used to that as you watch my stuff. But how hard is it when you are sitting in a car and you are trying to turn the wheel when the car's not moving, when it's in park, and you're supposed to turn the wheel like you were going to make a turn? Hello. It pretty much won't happen. My husband would tell you, don't do that. You're going to hurt your tires. But it's hard to do. But as soon as you start rolling, I'm talking, it's not even registering on your speedometer. All of a sudden, not a problem. Not a problem. Turn the wheel, turn, smooth, easy, right? Be in motion. Be in motion. Accept, understand mistakes along the way. You're going to do everything you can to not make mistakes, of course. But action and moving towards solutions. Okay? So here's one of your first action steps this week. I want you to sit down at some point, take a little bit of time, some reflection time for you. And I want you to write down 3 to 5 obstacles, 3 to 5 things that you've been wanting to do, that you really know, not only that you want to do, that you've been putting off, right? For whatever reason, we all have them. And I'm talking about those things that make us fearful, those things that we're reticent and we can come up and come up with, reasons that we're not going to do it. And we can justify, right? All the time. We can constantly justify, oh yeah, I have this takes priority, right? Because scheduling our priorities is what's important. And I want you to brainstorm solutions. And this is how you do it. Take each one and say, what are 3 small action steps that I can take this week between now and next Tea with Mama D, that I can take this week to start moving me forward? Pick one of them. Okay. I told you to list 3 to 5 because you need to kind of think through, but I want you to pick one of them. Okay. And you're going to work on that, and you're going to do action steps, and you're going to focus on that until it's accomplished. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to think of 3 action steps. Think about your week. Think about the time that you have. But I want you to be very specific in those action steps. I want you to come up with a very clear step. So, for example, not this broad, I'm going to make phone calls. Like I'll use one of my teens examples, right? I'm going to call colleges. Nope, that's not specific enough. Try, I'm going to call 5 colleges this week and ask these questions. Okay, you see? So you want it to be very specific. Maybe it's the amount of time. Maybe I'll do that a lot with people that when I'm helping them, you know, through different things and setting goals and reaching, right? So maybe it's, I'm going to, you know, spend 20 minutes calling colleges, okay? Because you might get caught up in a conversation and maybe time is better for you, okay? Don't forget, this will build your confidence. Keep this in mind because I'm going to transition here into giving you suggestions and building confidence in your kids. But remember, every time that I'm talking about you or talking to you, the same holds true for your kids. But more importantly, they're going to do a lot of this automatically because they see you doing it. And talk to them about it. Talk to them about what you're doing. Talk to them about you have fears just like they do. And okay, here's what mommy's going to do about it. Because it kind of gives you an accountability, right? We don't want to disappoint our kids. We don't want to let them down. We know they're watching. Maybe set up some accountability with your kids and in your family. Okay, because that's always huge. But that action and just baby steps forward, but taking those steps builds confidence. Builds confidence right there. All right. So the next thing I want to share is now I'm going to focus on concrete things that you can do for your kids to build their confidence. Okay. And I'm going to use an acronym this morning. Imagine that, right? I love alliteration. I love acronyms. If you haven't figured that out, you will. So I'm going to use the word shape because what you're doing right now is you are shaping your child's future and helping to shape them into future leaders, right? You knew I couldn't get through a tea with Mama D without talking about leaders, right? Or leadership or critical thinking or all of the above or God. But that's exactly what you're doing because all of this is part of becoming a true leader, okay? Because we have to be able to lead ourselves before we can lead others. All right, so here is shape. Keep in mind, so SHAPE. I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do to help shape your child, continue to build leaders this summer and on. But also at the same time, maybe help build some confidence in you. If you're struggling, if you're doubting, all of you homeschool moms that are watching this and who are letting that anxiety fill you, right, this summer about what, you know, happened that you felt you did wrong last year and should you continue to homeschool, all of you moms and dads and parents out there who, you know, were crisis schooling last year, who are still not sure now that you've seen some different things about your child and maybe the school system isn't a good fit for them and or your family and you're scared. I get it. Okay. So all of this figures in. Okay. So your kids, all of you, all parents, you can do this. S, focus on strengths. So S is strengths. I cannot emphasize this enough. That's why my word started with S. Strengths. Focus on their strengths. So often, and in schools as well, we focus on bolstering or fixing their weaknesses. Okay. Now, do we all need to work on that? Yes. But when we focus on our strengths, you want to build confidence in your child, that is where you need to start. You have to start with their strengths and build on those and foster those. And that leads into the P, and praise them. Every single chance you get, praise them. Okay, you guys, also, some of this stuff that I'm sharing with you about confidence is in my 15 ways to promote and to provide, or to grow resilient children. You can go to our website, aspireeducation.us. It is a free download. I highly recommend getting it, because a lot of this and a lot of the building resilience and what I put into that document will also help you with building confidence, right? That's a big part of resilience. So a lot of these go hand in hand. Some of these are different, but for instance, the praise is in there. Okay. Look for every opportunity to give honest praise. Honest praise. Here's a quick story. So I was putting we had a great bedtime routine. I didn't care that it took a while. I kept hearing from experts and, people, unfortunately, in my family who, were like, oh, it's too long and you shouldn't do that, and it's bad. First of all, let's push the noise away. You know your kids best. You know what works for you and them. So we were doing our great bedtime routine, and the end of our bedtime routine is I would go to every child and sing them their own song. Because of course I'd already sung 2 songs to all 4 of my kids, group songs, as we call them. And then I would go to each child and we would say prayers and I would sing them their own song. And depending on the child, because some were like, when it's bedtime, they are ready, they're going out. That's Caitlin. But some of them, that's when they wanted to talk. And I allowed for that conversation to happen most nights. There were some nights where it was pretty late when we didn't. But so one night I was putting my Jackson to bed, and he's my night owl, always has been. So I always knew we would have some kind of, even if it was a short, really neat conversation when I was putting him to bed. And I said, honey, you did really good. I used I can't remember how I phrased it or what I was referring to, but I said the word good. And he said, Mommy, what does that mean? And I said, well, that's a great question, right? Because the word good is so kind of general and broad. And he just kind of looked at me. He's like, oh, what does that mean? How was I good? Right? And I thought, wow, that is a great question. And I should be much more specific. So I went on and praised him with very concrete, specific words. So that is one of my other suggestions to you, that when you praise your child and when you praise others in any way, use your words, use your extensive vocabulary, and provide them with very clear praise. And here's the next step. I tried to always focus on their character, not their accomplishments. Now, what we would say is, I still to this day say this, Caitlin, our daughter, just graduated summa cum laude. Not only did the girl get straight A's with the most ridiculously difficult, curriculum throughout college, working 2 jobs, she graduated summa cum laude. But when I compliment her and when I say to her, Caitlin, I am so proud of how you stayed so focused through some really difficult challenges, through anxiety, heartbreak. You stayed focused. You relied on God. You kept the main thing. So I try to, it's not just that she got straight A's, right? But I constantly want her to know and praise, and I praise God constantly and try to say, wow, what a blessing that God has honored your hard work, right? It's the hard work. It's the character trait. It's what led to that accomplishment. That is what matters. When our kids would win legit trophies, when they would win a tournament or they would win some kind of award, we always try to focus and praise the character traits that led to that what we observed in them. So that is a really strong recommendation I have for you for building that confidence, because you are feeding into their belief in themselves and who they are so that they can accomplish whatever it is they want to accomplish, right? Because you're building that belief in them, not that this result will happen, because we all know that result may not happen quite often, right? We can work hard. Sometimes things don't work. Okay, regroup. Let's look. Why didn't it work? What should I do differently? What can I do? So, by praising who they are, you are creating and building that incredible accomplishment. Now, I know I jumped because I went from strength to praise in its shape, but can you tell how like excited I got over that? So I have to back up. And sorry. H. Okay, so S is strengths. H is help. Let your children help you. Find ways to let your children help you. If you have young children, I know it's going to take longer. Let it take longer. You need to come alongside them. Let them help you. Let them build confidence in the things you want them to do, that they know how to do it. Do not stand there and criticize them, especially when they're younger, but even more so when they're teenagers. Don't constantly criticize. Come alongside them, teach, guide. Don't just point out, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. Maybe that's why I jumped to the praise first, because in the word shape, praise comes later, but praise needs to be there, okay? Constantly and first, right? The compliment sandwich or the praise sandwich is what I say, right? You're praising, right? You're guiding, helping, providing direction, then you're praising, right? Okay, so help. It is a huge confidence builder. Plus, when you let them help you and you work alongside them, you can find, I guarantee you, you can find things to praise them about. You can say, wow, I love how you concentrated so hard on that one spot on the window. Did they get to the rest of the window in half an hour? No, but that's okay. I love how you did that. And focused, and we're so concerned about making sure that that one pane was perfectly clear. Okay, then you think to yourself, okay, so I have a perfectionist completely on my hand, and you can think to yourself strategies to kind of help break that out and maybe go, a little faster or not worry so much, whatever it is you want to teach, right, your child. But praise, there's always something you can do to praise. Plus, at the same time, the key there is thank you for your help. How that means so much to mommy or daddy or sister or uncle or brother, whoever's watching this, right? That means so much to me that you took the time to help me, even if they came kicking and screaming, by the way. But when your kids say, Mom, can I help? Yes. The answer is yes. Thank you so much. Could you please do this? I don't care what it is. Find something for them to do. Okay. When anybody asks, find something for them to do. Okay. So that is the H. And the A. Okay. Action. That's kind of a theme today, right? Action. We talked about imperfect action, but action in a different sense. They learn things. You're helping them. They're learning. Let them then do it. Let them take imperfect action. And again, here comes that P, which is now after the A. Now I'm even closer. You're praising them for taking that on. You're praising them for trying. You sit there and say, hey, what worked, what didn't? Even though you want to sit there and go, oh my gosh, you didn't wash this correctly again. I've told you 1,200 times. That's not what you need to be saying to them. No, right? You're saying, thank you so much for helping me. And maybe then you're saying, because it is like, 4 pans are greasy and you do need to teach them how to do it, right? But you're first, thank you so much for your help. Thank you for, your attention. Hey, can you kind of, come see this, right? Because there are a few pans that are still kind of greasy. You know, maybe I know I have trouble sometimes if this is happening or this is happening or this is happening. Don't presume to know what happened, what they did. Even if you know the truth is they didn't make a sink of hot water, that it was lukewarm, and or they didn't make a sink of water to soak it and they just did a quick brush, doesn't matter, right? Let them come to you with that, right? And say, hey, maybe next time if you could make sure, right? Or rewash these, you know, and here are some things that I've noticed that, you know, happen for me that will cause that or whatever, right? So help, action, let them do it. Learn, they need to learn, then they need to do. Oh, and then if you have the circumstance, which is fabulous, this works for schooling, for chores, for anything, let them teach it. Let them own it, right? So action in a different way. Learn it, great, but let them then do it imperfectly, most likely, right? We all need to learn. And it could take one of your children 25 tries or 2 years. Every child's going to be different. So trying to focus and help them move forward, right? So we've got our S, strengths. We've got our H, help you, let them help. A, action, then let them do it, and then even teach it. If you can find ways, let them own it. And especially action also applies to those strengths. Help them develop those strengths. Action is a great way to help them develop those strengths. So the learn, do, teach applies to their strengths as well. Find ways that they can shine with those strengths and really, really make it their own. Okay. So that one applies all over. And praise, I already talked about that. I continue to talk about it. Huge, so important. So now we're on to E. Excited. Excited. That is the word. Put some excitement into it. Put some entertainment. There's another good E word, into what you do and everything you do. Turn on some music. Laugh. Maybe, you know, you're outside watering, you know, squirt each other. Just put some excitement and entertainment. Now, is everything always going to be exciting or entertaining? No, but a lot of that is attitude, right? And maybe it's entertaining just because you know, have music on and you're kind of dancing to it, right? I'm not saying you have to be like, yeah, I get to scrub the toilets, you know, even though if you do that, it's pretty funny. It'll, you know, they'll get that, you know, no, that's not exciting. And yes, I picked the thing that I cannot stand to do. But you understand my point. I have a video on my phone that makes me laugh every time. I keep it on my phone because it epitomizes what we're talking about here, where my kids are pretty awesome about, hey, mom, don't worry about it. I got it. I can make food. I can make breakfast. Hey, does anybody else? I'm going to make pancakes. Anybody else want them? That kind of thing, right? And one morning last summer, both Mitchell and Caitlin were up and they were both in the kitchen. I happened to be sitting at our island kind of looking, and they were both at the stove, so their backs to me, and they each had a pan going because they were making other things like sausage, whatever. And great song came on. Great song. Awesome song. We all loved it. We're all singing. I look up and all I see is them dancing with their spatulas to the song. They had no idea I was filming. I grabbed my phone, started filming, didn't say a word. They had no idea. It was awesome. It was awesome, right? And they're all like this, and then they just start laughing. Okay. That's awesome. There's no reason that we can't do that about everything. As a matter of fact, it just changes your whole mindset, your whole physical being, everything, right? It changes all of that. It changes it all. So your attitude, there's another good A, attitude, but it goes with excitement. That's the idea, right? Excitement, entertainment, either one, excitement, entertainment, pick your E, okay? All of this actually builds confidence. It truly does. And that attitude and the excitement and entertainment aspect of it, all figures in to build that confidence, not take yourself too seriously, right? Because that's essentially what that is. Oh, I'm going to look funny. I'm going to sound funny. I'm going to, right? We all do. In our house, it's kind of saying, yep, we're weird, but everybody's weird in their own way, right? We're all weird. It's okay. And I'm definitely in that like weird dancing category. I love to do it. And I love it because I've heard and I see my own kids kind of doing that too at times. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. So I hope that you guys will embrace all of this. I really do. I hope I've given you some great things to do and action steps. And I'm sure I've gone way past my time. And thank you for bearing with the tech stuff this morning. I have loved being with you. Check out, by the way, I got to tell you, this is like a small portion, minuscule of what our Raising Future Leaders Summit is that we have on our website. I can't even begin to tell you the wisdom that you will find there on this and more. One of my incredible speakers in that summit, I just absolutely loved that interview. I loved all the interviews, was Dr. Rob Bell. Check out his stuff. I love his latest book, Puke and Rally. Love it. He's got incredible insights into building confidence, and he works with athletes. So if you have an athlete or an aspiring athlete, really great. Check it out, and you will not go wrong. It's just incredible. The value is unbelievable, and I highly recommend it. But anyway, have an amazing week. Check out, like I said, too, go to our website. You'll get a pop-up for the 15 ways to build resilience. Grab that, if nothing else, and check out the summit. I kid you not, it will change your life. It will change your life. All right, till next week. I hope you guys have an amazing week, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next Tuesday on Tea with Mama D. All right, take care, everybody.